Greetings, soul wanderer. How are you today? And from where do you gaze upon us? In this video, we will dive into the greatest mystery of existence, the first 3 seconds after death, the moment when the soul breaks free from the mortal and meets eternity. What if these instants are not an end, but a key to forbidden gates of truth concealed from sight for centuries? Imagine, the veil falls, and you behold that which changes everything. Hear now how this sacred mystery unfolded. Everything halts in a single fleeting instant. The heart, once beating like an ancient drum, falls silent, leaving only the echo of its final pulse. Breath, the thread that tethered the soul to the world, dissolves into a soundless void. Yet this is not emptiness, not darkness, not an end. It is a gateway, a delicate boundary where the earthly meets the unknown. The body, still warm, grows heavy, like an anchor tied to a departing world, but consciousness, in contrast, gains an unfamiliar lightness. It drifts, like a leaf caught by an unseen breeze, above the shell once called home. In this moment, there is neither pain nor suffering, only silence, profound as a bottomless ocean. It does not frighten but beckons, as if whispering that all things earthly were but a temporary mask. Fear, which once clawed at the heart, retreats, dissolving into this stillness. In its place rises curiosity, not of the mind, but born deep within the soul, like a spark in the night. The soul, for the first time, feels itself separate, free from the shackles of flesh, a sensation akin to a newborn's first breath. The world around loses its colors, yet it does not turn gray. It seems to melt into a soft radiance, free of sharp edges or shadows. All that once seemed vital, worries, plans, attachments, recedes, like waves retreating from the shore. And in this silence, understanding dawns. You do not vanish, you begin to see. The eyes of the soul, long veiled by earthly cares, slowly open, and before them lies not an end, but a threshold beyond which awaits something unnamed in the tongue of mortals. Suddenly, everything becomes weightless, as if the world has released its chains. The soul, like a translucent veil, glides upward, gently detaching from the body that lies below. Still, like an abandoned temple, the gaze involuntarily turns to it, to this shell that was once the only reality. It feels foreign, distant, like a painting from the past, faded under the rays of time. There is no pain, no regret, only astonishing clarity, as if a veil has fallen from the eyes, revealing a new horizon. The soul drifts, weightless, in a stream of light that flows around it, like a river of molten gold. This is not the light of the sun or stars. It is alive, pulsating, filled with a meaning that words cannot capture. It envelops without blinding, warms without burning. In this radiance, there is no fear, no shadow of doubt, only a sense of liberation, as if the soul has remembered who it was before birth. The world below, with its clamor and weight, becomes ghostly, almost unreal, like a dream dissolving with the first rays of dawn. In this floating, realization dawns. The body was merely a vessel, a temporary home, not the essence. The soul, now free, feels itself boundless, like a drop returning to the ocean. There are no more boundaries, no shackles of time or space. All that once seemed vital, ambitions, fears, losses, melts away, like smoke in the wind. And in this freedom, a quiet joy emerges, not loud but profound, like the echo of a distant star. The soul is not alone. It senses the presence of something greater, something waiting ahead, beyond an unseen threshold. Before the inner gaze, a radiance ignites, brilliant as the birth of a star. It does not blind, but beckons, like a voice resounding in the deepest core of being. The soul stands at an unseen boundary, where time loses its rhythm, dissolving into infinity. These 3 seconds are not a span but an eternity compressed into a single breath. They are gates, a delicate membrane between the world of mortals and what lies beyond. There is no way back, yet there is no fear, only a profound, almost tangible acceptance. The space around pulses, as if alive. The light enveloping the soul grows denser, transforming into a fluid substance that embraces without confining. This is not mere light, it is energy, woven from the memory of the cosmos, from all beginnings and endings. The soul feels both infinitesimal and boundless, like a grain of sand aware it is part of a vast desert. In this instant, there are no questions, no doubts, only the clarity that everything that was led precisely here. At the threshold of these gates, a sense emerges that you always knew of their existence. Earthly life, with its turmoil and struggles, now seems but a preparation for this crossing. The soul does not fear, for the gates do not judge. They merely open the way. And in this radiance, in this infinite moment, understanding dawns. You do not lose yourself, you become yourself. All that was a mask, all that was temporary, falls away like autumn leaves, revealing the true essence. Suddenly, the light around thickens, transforming into a mirror of infinity. Before the soul unfolds a kaleidoscope of lived moments, like stars igniting across the firmament of eternity. Every event, every encounter, every breath comes alive, not as memory, but as the living fabric of fate. This is not judgment or condemnation, but a grand revelation, where each moment glows with meaning unseen by earthly eyes. The soul beholds its life like a book written by an invisible hand, each page a lesson leading to this point. Joys and pains, triumphs and losses, all weave into a single thread, strong as the foundation of existence. Quarrels that once seemed tragic now appear as fleeting shadows. Love that warmed the heart shines brighter, revealing its eternal nature. Mistakes that tormented the conscience gain new meaning. They were steps toward wisdom. The soul sees how every choice, even the smallest, was woven into a pattern now clear as a starry sky. There are no regrets, only profound understanding. Everything was necessary. In this radiance of life's panorama, the soul feels itself both creator and creation. It is not merely an observer. It relives each moment, but free from the weight of ego. Fear, pride, shame, all dissolve, leaving only pure essence. The scenes of life evoke no pain, but fill the soul with quiet gratitude. Every encounter, every glance, every step was part of a great dance leading to this moment. And in this clarity, awe arises. Life, once seeming chaotic, was a perfect symphony. From the radiant ocean of light enveloping the soul, figures slowly emerge, not bodies, but essences woven from pure energy. They have no faces, yet their presence feels like a warm breeze touching the skin on a summer noon. These guides, like stars guiding a wanderer in the night, emanate a peace ancient and infinite as the cosmos itself. Their light does not blind, but pierces the deepest core of being, awakening a memory of something familiar, long forgotten. The soul senses a connection with them, not through words or thoughts, but through something profounder, like a thread stretching through eternity. They do not speak, yet their intent shines clear as a morning dawn. They are here to lead, to point the way through the boundless expanses of this new existence. Each of their movements is a dance, fluid and precise, like the rhythm of the universe. The soul, still unaccustomed to its weightlessness, feels their support, like invisible hands holding it above an abyss. There is no fear, no doubt, only certainty that these guides know the destination, and their purpose is not to judge, but to help return home. In their presence, the soul begins to remember, not earthly years, not faces or events, but something greater, the origins of its existence, the moment it first sparked in the infinite. The guides of light are like mirrors, reflecting the soul's own essence, revealing that it was never alone. They are not strangers. They are part of the same fabric from which the soul is woven, part of a vast unity beyond time. Their energy whispers, "You have always been here. You have always known." And in this whisper, a peace arises, deep as a starry abyss and warm as a mother's embrace. Each of their gestures carries meaning that needs no words. They point to the path ahead, not compelling, but inviting. The soul senses that this path is not a journey into the unknown, but a return to what has always been its home. The guides do not rush or demand, they simply are, and their presence fills the soul with assurance that all that follows is right. They are the bridge between the earthly and the eternal, between illusion and truth. And in their light, the soul begins to understand. It is not merely moving forward, it is becoming part of something infinitely vast. The light thickens, like the breath of the cosmos, and space transforms into a boundless ocean of radiance. The soul stands at the edge of an invisible threshold, where all earthly things dissolve, like morning mist under the sun's rays. This is not a place, not a point in space, but a boundary where existence flows into another form, where the finite merges with the infinite. The radiance beckons, not forcing, but calling, like a voice in the heart, promising truth. The soul senses one step forward, and it will forever leave behind all that was its world. In this moment, there is no fear, only profound realization that all that seemed vital, ambitions, attachments, even time itself, was but a shadow on the wall of eternity. The shining ocean before the soul pulses like the living heart of the cosmos, and in its rhythm, the soul feels itself part of the whole. The threshold does not frighten, it draws, like a return to the source, to the place where the soul always belonged. Each movement toward this light is not a step, but a dissolving into something immeasurably greater. The guides of light, who accompanied thus far, now step back, yet their presence lingers, like the echo of a distant melody. They do not abandon but grant space for choice, to cross the threshold or linger. Yet the soul already knows there is no return, no desire to cling to the past. All that was now seems a dream, fading in the rays of awakening. The radiance before it is not an end, but a beginning, not loss but discovery. The soul is ready, and in this readiness there is no doubt, only quiet certainty that all is right. The radiant ocean of light surrounding the soul begins to dissolve the last threads of earthly perception. Time, once flowing like a river, carving life into moments, now vanishes, like sand slipping through fingers. Seconds, hours, years, all these measures that once held the soul captive dissolve into infinity, like stars hidden by morning light. The soul no longer counts, no longer measures, no longer clings to the rhythm that once defined its existence. It simply is, beyond boundaries, beyond beginnings and ends, in a flow where eternity is not duration, but a state. The memory of the body, once both temple and prison, fades like a dream dissolving at dawn. It now seems distant, almost mythical, like a tale of someone else's life. The soul feels no loss. On the contrary, it senses freedom, like a bird whose wings have finally unfurled in a boundless sky. In this new existence, there is no haste, no burdensome waiting, no fear of being late. All that was tied to time, worries of the past, hopes for the future, dissolves, leaving only pure presence, profound as the breath of the cosmos. In this radiance, the soul begins to see differently. The world it knew, with its clamor, struggles, and desires, now appears as a mere reflection, a faint shadow of true reality. Here, in this infinite moment, there is no yesterday or tomorrow, no causes or effects, only wholeness, where everything exists at once. The soul feels itself part of this wholeness, like a drop realizing it is the ocean. Yet deep within its essence lingers a quiet echo of earthly life, not regret, not pain, but a gentle memory, like a melody growing softer until it merges with silence. This echo does not pull back or evoke longing. It merely reminds that the earthly path was part of a grand design where every step, every breath was necessary. The soul gazes at this echo with gratitude, like an old friend who pointed the way home. In this absence of time, it finds peace, not the kind born of exhaustion, but one arising from the fullness of being. The radiance around grows warmer, deeper, as if embracing the soul, affirming, "You have always been here. You have always been whole." The guides of light, who led it to this point, are now barely discernible, their presence blending into the encompassing radiance, yet the soul feels no loneliness. It understands that they have not left. They have become part of this light, part of the soul itself. In this state, there is no separation, no I or they, only unity, where all is connected by invisible threads. The soul, freed from time, begins to sense the rhythm of this unity, like a pulse beating in the heart of the cosmos. And in this rhythm, it finds not an end, but a new beginning. Not a movement forward, but an eternal abiding in truth. The radiance enveloping the soul softens, like the breath of eternity caressing its essence. In this boundless stream of light, the last trace of fear dissolves, like smoke carried away by the wind over a vast plain. The fear of death, which once clawed at the heart on earth, now seems an illusion, fragile as glass shattered by the light of truth. The soul feels absolute safety, not the kind offered by walls or words, but one born of realization. It is part of the eternal, the unbreakable, the indestructible. Here, there are no threats, no losses, only peace, deep as a starry abyss and warm as the embrace of home. All anxieties that tormented the earthly mind, fear of the unknown, pain of loss, doubts of self-worth, melt away like snow under the rays of a spring sun. The soul sees them clearly now. They were shadows woven from ignorance, from belief in separation. In this radiance, there is no room for illusions. The soul understands that fear was but a mask imposed by earthly experience, a mask that hid its true nature. Now that mask is cast off, and the soul stands bare, not vulnerable, but radiant, whole, complete. In this peace, a new feeling arises, not triumph, not pride, but a quiet certainty that all that seemed an end was merely a door. Death, once feared and avoided, reveals itself not as an abyss, but as a bridge leading to the source. The soul gazes at this bridge with gratitude, for it brought it here, to a space where there is no need to defend or flee. It feels at home, not in a place, but in a state where every particle of its being vibrates in harmony with the cosmos. The light around deepens, as if unveiling new layers of reality. It does not blind, but reveals, showing that all the soul sought on earth, love, meaning, safety, was always here, in this infinite fullness. Fear was but a phantom, born of forgetting this truth. Now, freed from it, the soul feels light, like a feather soaring in a boundless sky. It is not alone, not separate. It is one with this light, this eternity, this love that has no name but permeates all existence. The guides of light, who led it, have now fully merged with the radiance, yet their warmth lingers, like an echo resonating in the heart. The soul knows they have not vanished. They are part of this unity, as is the soul itself. In this absence of fear, there is no emptiness, no indifference. There is fullness, saturating every particle of being. The soul does not fear, for there is nothing to fear when you are part of the whole, when you are the whole itself. This peace is not fleeting. It is infinite, like stars that shine forever, knowing no fading. The light enveloping the soul is no longer mere radiance. It becomes the very essence of existence, the living fabric from which the universe is woven. The soul does not move, does not walk, does not drift. It dissolves into this infinite stream, becoming the stream itself. There are no boundaries, no division between I and everything else. It is part of a great unity, where every particle vibrates in harmony with the whole, like a star singing in the chorus of the cosmos. This is not the end of a journey, not the reaching of a goal, but an awakening, the moment when the soul recognizes itself as true, eternal, indestructible. In this radiance, earthly concepts find no place. Love, once seen as attachment, now reveals itself as a force binding all existence, knowing no limits or conditions. Meaning, sought in the bustle of days, proves not a goal, but the very nature of being. It was always there, hidden behind the veil of illusions. The soul now sees clearly. All it experienced, all joys and sorrows, were but reflections of this eternal truth, sparks guiding it to this moment. It does not lose itself, but finds itself, becoming more than it was, becoming all. The space around has no up or down, no beginning or end. It is infinite, yet its vastness does not frighten. It embraces, like a mother awaiting her child's return. The soul feels warmth, not physical, but profound, as if every particle of its being is filled with light flowing through all existence. This light is not just knowledge, but being. It does not explain, it affirms. You have always been here. You have always been whole. In this state, there are no questions, no need for answers, because everything already is. Everything is already full. The guides of light, who led it, are now indistinguishable, their presence dissolved in this unity, like stars in a daytime sky. The soul understands. They were not separate entities. They were part of it, reflections of its own nature. All it encountered, people, events, even pain, was part of a great dance, where every step led to this awakening. Earthly life, once seeming chaotic, now appears as a perfect pattern, where every thread had meaning, every loop was necessary. In this eternal moment, the soul feels both infinitesimal and boundless. It is a drop in the ocean, yet the ocean itself, a spark, yet the flame that burns forever. There is no fear of loss, for loss is impossible in this unity. There is no desire to possess, for everything already belongs to it, as it belongs to everything. This is not selfish ownership, but a merging, where boundaries dissolve, leaving only love, not as a feeling, but as a state, as the breath of the cosmos. The awakening of eternity is not a moment of triumph, but a quiet return to what always was. The soul remembers. It was never separate from this light, from this fullness. The earthly path was but a dream where it forgot its nature, but now the dream has dissipated, and before it lies reality, radiant and infinite. It no longer seeks meaning, for meaning is itself. It no longer strives for a goal, for the goal is its being. It simply is, and this being is perfection. In this state, words are unneeded, but if they existed, they would sound like a hymn, a song sung not with the mouth, but with the entire essence. The soul feels the rhythm of this hymn, the pulse beating in the heart of the universe. It is not alone, for loneliness is an illusion of separation, and here separation does not exist. It is part of all, and all is part of it. This awakening has no end, for it is eternity itself, where every moment is full, every moment whole. The light, once an ocean, now becomes home, not a place, but a state where the soul finds its ultimate fullness. This is not a return to familiar walls or lands, but a merging with the source, with what always awaited beyond the veil of time. The radiance embraces, like an old friend whose warmth the heart recognizes, even if the mind forgot its features. The soul feels. It is home, in a space with neither beginning nor end, only infinite wholeness, where every particle vibrates in harmony with eternity. This is not the end of a journey, but its true beginning, an awakening where all that was becomes mere preparation for this moment. In this radiance, there is no separation, no loneliness, no shadow of loss. The soul feels itself part of a great whole, like a river flowing into the ocean, retaining its essence, yet becoming more. All earthly experiences, joys, pains, searches, now appear as threads woven into a perfect pattern that led here. It does not judge them, does not mourn them, but accepts them with deep gratitude, as lessons that revealed its true nature. Love, known on earth, now unfolds as an infinite force permeating all existence, knowing no boundaries or conditions. The space around has no form, yet it is alive, pulsating like the heart of the cosmos. The soul does not see it with eyes, but feels it with every particle, as if the light flowing through it is the soul itself. Here, there are no questions, no need for explanations, for everything is already clear. It was always part of this, always was home. The earthly path, with its struggles and darkness, was but a dream where it forgot its nature. But now the dream has dissipated, and before it lies reality, radiant and eternal. In this state, the soul does not seek, does not strive, does not fear. It simply is, and this being is perfection. The guides of light who led it are now indistinguishable, their warmth dissolved in this boundless radiance, like stars in a daytime sky. The soul understands. They were its reflection, part of itself, as everything around is part of a great unity. Death, once seen as an end, now appears as a door that opened the way to this return. It was not an end, but a beginning, a great awakening where the soul recognizes itself as eternal. This return is not triumph, not a reward, but a quiet dissolving into truth. The soul feels the rhythm of the cosmos, like a song resounding in its essence, and it sings along, not with voice, but with being. Here, there is no need for words, no need for movement. Everything is already full, already whole. The soul is home, and this home is not a place, but a state where it always was, always will be. Death, which frightened the earthly mind, was but an illusion, a shadow dispelled in the light of eternity. And now the soul knows. It never died. It only returned home.